This is one of the most significant days in free speech ever. This is it. This will be remembered as one of those pivotal moments. Alex Jones has been reinstated on X. I cannot put into detail. I cannot explain enough how important that is. I can try. I will do my best, but I will try to explain how this is viewed as an absolute defeat on the part of those individuals at levels you cannot even understand, who have wanted since Biden took actually before this, but in particular under the Biden regime, this is one of the most significant days ever. And it's not about what Alex Jones says or Sandy Hook or anything along this. Listen to this very carefully. This is what NPR writes. You have to go to the enemy to hear their battle assessment. Elon Musk has restored the X account of conspiracy theorists. That doesn't even make any sense anymore. Alex Jones, pointing to a poll on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, that came out in favor of the InfoWars host, who repeatedly called the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting a hoax. It poses new uncertainty for advertisers who have flat X over concerns about the hate speech appearing alongside their ads, and is their latest divisive public personality to get back their banned account. Do you hear this? This is the news. This is the news. This is it. PBS and you want to talk about propaganda? A governmentally owned kind of a Radio Marti, Voice of America propagandist. But by the way, they're not as bad as MSDNC. Did you hear this? This is what we're after. Imagine if I wrote a story. PBS, a watered down, unwatched, barely held together government propaganda tool. They say, wait a minute, you can't write that. Well, you said that about Alex Jones. My friends, if you know one thing, and one thing that I have been saying, one thing, one moment, one speech, one resounding absolute, is that freedom of speech, the ability to say whatever you want, not the right to be agreed with, not the right to hear everything that is favorable and pleasant, but to live in a society where you will not be destroyed, shadow banned, pushed aside, removed, expurgated, bowdlerized by government proxies. Get ready, my friends. This could be one of the most important episodes ever of our live streams. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. I mean that this is so critical. But right now, one of the things you must know is we must always look to what's happening regarding the tumult, regarding the excitement, regarding the freneticism, this absolute vortex, this miasma of activity regarding gold and crypto, and what are you supposed to do when it's time to listen to our great sponsor and follow LionelNationGold.com. Well, chances are you've seen it before. The chaos in the markets, oil and stocks. Just when you thought it was safe and interest rates were rising, new threats come out of nowhere. Tensions are boiling from Asia to Europe. Adaptation is the key here to safeguarding your wealth. You may not have considered gold before. It's not speculation, but insurance. And right now, you need some insurance. Noble Gold Investments have been protecting investors from disaster for years with precious metals. So if you're worried, it might be time to take a fresh look at gold and silver. Gold is a proven safe haven shield for your portfolio and a volatility balance against uncertainty. If it helps, Noble Gold Investments is offering a free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin with its new IRAs this month. If you open your Noble Gold Investments IRA or 401k rollover, you can claim your coin today. Remember, crisis brews, portfolios waver, and gold insulates. Secure yourself against the threats. So go to LionelNationGold.com. That's LionelNationGold.com, or call 877-646-5347 and tell them Lionel sent you. The only gold company I trust. Now remember, there's always a risk of investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind. Every now and then, somebody becomes kind of the forbidden fruit. Somebody becomes the target. Somebody becomes the person. Let me move my camera over here just a tad. Somebody becomes the target, the symbolic target of everything. And Alex Jones has been the hated, loathed, despised since whatever. Now they say he lied about Sandy Hook or spread lies. Your government has lied to you forever. And while everybody is talking about all of this, Israel, Palestinian, did you notice how quickly everybody kind of sloughed over the story of how in the world did Israel and the greatest intelligence collection unit in the history of mankind, Mossad, how did they miss the obvious? Okay, because they were lied to. You live in lies. Your president is lying to you. He's the president. Who the is Alex Jones? I don't care what he lies about. Compare him to the president of the United States saying, I never involved myself with my son's business activity. Those are lies. Do you want me to go through this? I'm not going to go to the Gulf of Tonkin and remember the Maine and everything else. We live in a world of lies, but no. They had to get Alex Jones because he represented something. And by the way, with as much, I don't want to take away from him, but it's not really what he had to say is him. They just picked it. Once it's tag, you're it. And the pile-on starts. They come out of nowhere. And they are absolutely just coming after you like you wouldn't believe. It blows my mind. This is a thing that I just don't understand. I've been talking about this forever, by the way, as you know, on my private channel. That's right, Lionel Nation, the private channel. Actually, go to lionelmedia.com for that. Because I've had to do this since day one. Because you have no idea the amount of censorship at levels you can't believe. And here's the best part. Some people can say it. Some people can't. Now, the First Amendment does not mean that I agree with you. I've told you, and remember, I've lost friends. I have absolutely 100% lost, dare I say, fellow travelers by telling you the truth about Donald Trump when it requires truth. Because people have said, no, I want to hear happy. Well, great. You're entitled to that. I'm not going to lie to you. And I paid for it because I can't keep track of lies. The reason why I don't lie is I can't keep track of them. And what happens is you don't believe them, and they don't come through. They don't come through as being, I don't know what the word is. They don't come through as being sincere. They don't, you can't lie to people. You can't, how do I say this? You can't, it doesn't work. I don't care what you think of Alex Jones. This is the greatest day. This shows him. Now, it means one thing. Number one, let's go through this. Number one, it's all a work. In an organizational conspiracy structure so deep that we can't even figure this out. Elon Musk is a part of the shadow government who is doing this as a limited hangout, as a distract. And we can go through that all day long. And I know there are people who love this. They can never, ever get a fact without thinking, no, that's not what it means. It means, and then they go on to this stuff. Okay. And you know what? Far be it from me to say that their suspicions are not warranted or that their suspicions are not, justified. I don't know. But number one, this could be some kind of a weird hoax for Elon to destroy X and destroy. Okay. I don't know. Number two, Elon could be the white hat. You remember that? Remember that in all of our conspiracy speak? All of you conspiratoids out there, you conspiracists. Black hats are the bad guys, but the white hats are the people who actually are working, let's say, for Intel, who actually help us, who benefit us, who want to see truth. They're on our side. Okay? You understand this? They're the ones who are actually helping us. Barry Taylor writes quizzically, Big Daddy said in Canada Hot Tin Roof, we live in a world of mendacity. Oh, mendacity, ledger domain. You are so right, my dear friend. Everything is a lie. Everything. I listen to, I cannot tell you. I listen to, I was watching something before, and I want to always make sure that I just spend no time listening to. How do I say this? Please forgive me because I'm very excited about this. But let me go back to what I said originally. Elon Musk could be. This could be some kind of a ruse, some kind of an inside job, whatever. I don't know. Okay, that's number one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, he's really a good guy. He's a white hat. He's a guy who figures you can't touch me. He's a guy who knows where all the bodies are buried. He's a guy who says, okay. Now, what Elon Musk could say, let me show you all of my folks, all of my people. In fact, if you looked at let me look at his Twitter account. By the way, I am so happy. I've told you my fondness for Alex Jones. He hasn't been doing, not everything he does is great. Not everything he does. Can you name anybody in your family, anybody you know, all of your friends who've done everything great? No, I don't think that's true. But look at this right now. Let's see. Here we go. What do we see here? Where is that final thing? Where is that thing? Here. Hang on a minute. Oh, come on. The final, it was 70%. I forget where it was. The actual number of people who I don't know how many people. Hang on a minute. I want to get this damn number. I want to see the number of people who and by the way, I don't necessarily believe all of the, or maybe you can do it. I'm not going to spend my time doing it. I forget. 10 million. Who knows? Who knows how many? Maybe you can tell me the actual number of people who purportedly participated in the poll. I don't know. Okay. That's it. Next. Nobody cares. Maybe nobody actually in the stratosphere, because remember, we are run by oligarchs. We do not have representative government. You know that, right? We do not. We are run by oligarchs. This is the thing which is so critical. I mentioned this to you the other day, and I tell people. Klaus Schwab, remember this one? The World Economic Forum. Overnight. There's this group of Davos folks. The top 25 or so World Economic Forum members. Did you see this one? This is a story that just and the problem is with most of the people that you think you are going to absolutely here we go with the coalition membership exceeds 50 companies, 50 trillion dollars. They don't have any problem with this between them, the International Monetary Fund, World Bank. They have no problem with this. But basically, imagine a $10 trillion consortium of people, the Soros family, $25 billion projects to basically fund prosecutors to come in and systematically destroy. And the best thing that Ron DeSantis ever did was getting rid of the prosecutor from the office I used to work in, the 13th Judicial Circuit, Hillsborough County, to get rid of that state attorney who basically said, I'm not going to, I mean, it was beautiful. Bezos, the puppet, Bezos, who just wants to walk around, take vitamins with that thing he's going to marry and just party around the world. But he has $1.2 billion strategy to surveil people, smart homes and the like. Zuckerberg with a $26 billion initiative to reshape basically technological addiction. Bill Gates spending almost $12 billion to control the food supply. Do you understand? Our enemy, our problem is not Joe Biden. It's not Joe Biden. It's in the new world. And for me to tell you what I just told you, who is going to tell you? Do you think what? Do you think who's going to tell you that? What? Do you think Greg Kelly is you think Brian Kilmeade, that idiot? He's just couldn't pronounce pseudonym, like he's never seen the word. This is the moron. Plus the guy who can't speak English. Anyway, don't get me started. Do you think they're going to do this? No. So who exactly are you going to go to hear this news? I'm going to ask you this question again. The real stuff that goes on in the world, who are you going to get? Who are you going to get to tell you the truth? Who? Alex Jones and the Alex Jones-esque people. That's who you're going to get. Alex Jones and the David Ikes and the banned videos and the Mercolas and whoever the hell it is. You want it, that's where you're going to go. And the more they are targeted, the more they are derided, the more they are blasphemed, the more I'm interested in them. I don't want anybody telling me what I can and can't listen to. And up till now, it was an open season, and something is changing. Maybe it's because the election, 330 days away. Maybe it's the election. Maybe there's a shift. I don't know, but something is happening, and this is the most important thing in the world. This is the most. I got to tell you this one. The New York Young Republicans had a gala in New York City, and Trump showed up. Here we go. The Young Republicans, 9 hours ago. I forget how much what it was per ticket. You're not going to believe this. This is the biggest bunch, the biggest waste of time you have ever seen. How much was the ticket? I need what, $880, almost $900 a ticket. I don't know how much. Trump's not gonna do anything for free. I'm sorry. Trump is a businessman. Trump's smart. These are these are the most miserable people you've ever seen in your life. Matt Gaetz, Elise Stefanik, who? Lauren Boebert, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are distractions. These are. Do you remember Gilligan's Island? The honeybees. No. Yeah, was it Honeybee? Anyway, it was the Wellingtons. The Wellingtons were the group that played the theme song. And whenever they needed a rock and roll band, remember that? Whatever they say, Beaver, turn that music off. Hey, man. And it was some generic, really twangy, kind of a Dick Dale, kind of a. The Wellingtons, they played this faux rock and roll. That's what these people are. Hey, it's time to pretend to be Republicans. Bring them out. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz. Oh, they got his number. Oh, he brought down the speaker, didn't he? Anyway, I have no interest in them whatsoever. You're not going to hear anything about the truth. I guarantee you, none of those bastards were saying anything about Alex Jones. Let me also say something. God bless Tucker Carlson for speaking to Gonzalo Lira's father. As you know, I have a newsletter, and I've been putting this newsletter out for. Sometimes I want to say, I don't even know what I'm doing, and then I get these people back. They like unsubscribe. It's like, how can you? It's free with all the. Anyway, it's a free country. What are you gonna do? I'm not even gonna bring one. Anyway, this is it right now. And every time I've always said, where is Gonzalo Lira? Where is Gonzalo Lira? There we go. Sign up for it. It's free. And I throw out things that just throw ideas out for you because I'm what I want to be. The model of this is 70s FM music. Remember when 70s AOR, album oriented rock, hit in the 70s? Anybody from Tampa remembers in the 70s? WQSR, greatest radio station. We had that. We had 102.5, Underground Railroad. We had MNF, all these community. It's like it's before Spotify. It's when music got to be like, really, this is interesting. This is rock and roll. This is subversive. That's Alex Jones, and that's the spirit of Tucker Carlson by having on Gonzalo Lira's father. They spent more time with that goddamn Griner, who went to Russia, broke their laws with vaping, and this ingrate. They spend more time with her. And Gonzalo Lira is an American citizen who basically spoke his mind and told the truth. That'll get you. Told the truth about Russia and Ukraine. Edie says the best line in 3 Days of the Condor, there must be a CIA inside the CIA. You know what? You're right about that, Edie. If you knew how things worked, by the way, don't spend your time working on the machinations. A lot of these things don't even have names. But there are people, and by the way, the information is there. God bless Substack. God bless. There are NGOs and organizations within this worldview. Okay, let me stop right there. I want to explain to you what is so important and how these platforms and what they have done to basically violate the First Amendment in a means by which nobody thought possible. And up to now, people said, well, they can't do it because they're not the government, because after all, the First Amendment provides Congress shall pass no law. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. When you have a proxy do, it's a different story. But before we begin, or continue, listen very, very carefully. I mentioned just now about Bill Gates. I mentioned to you about Bill Gates. I told you about Bill Gates. I said, this is what he's doing. This is what's happening. This is what's going on regarding food. To control food, I am telling you. And however it may, how some people say, I won't be able to eat meat. Okay, fine. That's it. You should be able to eat meat. Maybe you don't want to have lab meat or fake meat or whatever it is. Fine. I believe in freedom. You should be able to eat dirt. You should be able to do any drug you want. I'm sorry. Freedom is a problem. If we locked up every drug user, we would have safer streets, but we would have no constitution. We would have no freedom, but it would look a lot better. And if we got rid of all this meat, we'd have a healthier place. But that's not what freedom is about. And if we prohibited liquor, people would be better. But that's not what freedom's about. It's not about artificially depriving people of liberty so that we remove the inconvenience of free speech and free selection and free choice. So listen carefully to preparedwithlionel.com. This could save your life. Patriot, the world at every level and facet is in peril. Everything has changed. The Great Reset is here. Just look around you. You must become more self-reliant and sufficient and secure the future for your family. Act today with My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the country's largest preparedness company, and it's more than equipped to stock your shelf. Their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit provides delicious breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years in storage. And right now, listen carefully, it's $200 off. That's right. Get over 2,000 calories every day. Just add water and heat, then eat. Make sure every member of your family has a 3-month food kit from My Patriot Supply. Go right now to my special website at preparedwithlionel.com, preparedwithlionel.com for $200 in savings. Be sure to order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. It's best to have emergency food and not need it than to need it and not have it. Take $200 off right now at preparedwithlionel.com, preparedwithlionel.com. Write this down, commit it to memory, preparedwithlionel.com. That's right, my friends. The poll was 1,966,000 plus. 70% of those people. And now you could say to yourself, well, is this true? Do you believe this? I don't know. And that could be, I don't know. Remember, you're not going to fool me again. I understand the work. I know how wrestling works. I get it. I understand how it works. But the bottom line is simply this. They have spoken. Our good friend, Silver Fox says, good morning, Lionel. Just listened to an interview with Jill Stein, filled Cornell West's spot. What do you think of her? She's okay. Cornell's got, they did a hatchet job on him because of his finances, and he doesn't. Cornell West is full of shit. All right. I mean, I listen. I know it may sound crude, but you know exactly what I meant. He's just, you know what I mean. That's okay, but no. But you know what? Listen, he has the right to run, and that's fine, and I understand that. And you know, Jill Stein. Listen, every time somebody speaks, it gives you a new flavor, a new view, a new something to look at. But let me go back to this one thing. I want you to listen very, very carefully and listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I would have never believed this were ever possible, nor would the drafters of the Constitution. When the government started, the idea was simply this. It was the government. It was the government. It was the government that limited people's speech. It was the government. They did it. They did it. It was the government who did this. The government was responsible for this. The government was critical. The government did this. And then they had no clue as to the state government when they started. It was the federal government. Congress shall pass no law, abridging the free speech. And then later on, religion. Okay. State government, through something called incorporation by reference, Barron against Baltimore, 14th Amendment, to the Privileges and Immunities Clause, they extended and applied the First Amendment from protecting you from the federal government to the states. Okay. But it was always that. And they would ask you things like, I couldn't speak. Who fired you? The Board of Education. Well, that was really under this county, but it's under the state. Okay, that'll suffice. I was fired from my job. For what? Because I said something about, well, I'm sorry, that's a private entity. You know, you spoke poorly of the president and he fired you. Yeah, but that's not right. That's what that may not be right. But that's the way that goes. That's the government. That's a private entity that is not the government. Do you hear what we're saying? Okay. You got it? You got it. By the way, I need 500 likes today. I got to get, I'm serious. I need you to help. You want free speech? You want free speech? If you like what I'm doing, if you like my take on this, and believe me, it's different than anybody else, because just when you like what I say, I'm going to say something. You're going to say, wait a minute, because it's not 100%. But I need your likes. I need them. I'm telling you, I appreciate your support, but this is critical. I'm not going to suggest any kind of legitimacy, but there is no way that I should be stuck with these lousy numbers. That's all I'm going to say to you. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know whether there's, I don't, far be it from me to suggest, but I need all of the oomph I get, because you don't understand. Everybody hates me. Democrats, the Republicans. And now I'm finding out both sides of the Israel, you're going to love this. Both sides have nothing to do with it. Friends, I'm losing friends. They don't think I'm pro-Israel enough, or that I'm pro-Palestine enough. I don't even know. I can't figure this one out at all. I don't care. And the best one, this Elise Stefanik and these others, they're wrong. Those college professors, as stupid as it sounds, are absolutely right. You have to listen to the context. There is no genocide exception to the First Amendment. And by the way, that also goes to, there's no trans, phobia exception to the First Amendment as well. It works both ways. It works both ways. So this is just it. And your likes, your subscriptions, you are telling somebody, watch this fellow. Because I promise you, when I am a purist, I do not have any, I am with the opposition, to use Balzac's line. I am with the opposition. Whatever it is, I'm against it. I'm a contrarian. Both sides are ridiculous. To take speech and to take belief and to reduce it to left and right is an abomination. So what they did was, somebody said, I got it. Around 1996, when the internet kind of sort of started, everybody was addicted. Oh my God, it was the greatest thing anybody's ever seen before. I couldn't believe the Wild West. When I first started this, the number I couldn't believe the absolute, it was the greatest thing in the world. Every day, the numbers, like, wow. And then somebody said, whoa, hey, who's this guy? And by the way, this is all across the board. Who's this guy? Anybody see, who is this guy? Oh, is that guy? Is he with Trump? Now, I don't know why. I can't point. Nobody ever gave me a memo. But all I know is there was this period of. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go, I can't tell Instagram, hey, you're cutting down my numbers. You're shadow banning me. Hey, and Instagram says, screw you. I'm not the government. Yeah, but I'm not the government. Well, guess what? Guess who came forward? Elon Musk. The Twitter files. And the government and social media platforms like Twitter were used in concert. The social media were acting as agents of the federal government to shut us down. And what the government couldn't do, they could tell, I don't like what he's saying about COVID. I think this is misinformation. Somebody from, I'm going to tell you about this one particular outboard group. They said, we don't mind your speech. It's the megaphone. And they actually said in one particular document, which on my private channel, I bring to your attention, they actually refer to misinformation as pollution. They actually use as the fact that you're putting out pollution, and they will justify this a million ways. And once people start using a phrase, wearing an article of clothing, once a fad is developed, you cannot stop them. And they will do it free of charge to show others, look, I'm a member of the team. Look how I'm shutting down this. And Alex Jones was, well, a lot of he never had the chance, remember, for reasons, and I do not understand this. He basically defaulted on his Sandy Hook case. I don't understand this. And I'm going to say one thing to you. The question that I do not understand, the thing that I just don't get it. Just like I don't understand how Israel can actually tell you, we didn't know anything about Hamas. Come on. Stop it. Stop it. When Condoleezza Rice said, we had no idea that terrorists could fly planes into, you just had a PDB that says terrorists. Oh, yeah. So these are just lies. But the thing I've never understood, maybe you can help me with this. When somebody says to me, there was no Sandy Hook, none, it never happened. And this is what they say. It was just I don't know what it was, kind of like a moon landing thing. And I used to get things from people showing they closed the school in 1970. What? There is no Sandy Hook. What? These are all actors. What? There's no such thing. These people they're not real. There were no, and it just kept growing and growing. There's no fear. I said, wait a minute, hold on. You mean to tell me that nobody in Sandy Hook could say, what is this school they're talking about? We don't have a school. You mean to tell me that somebody's going to pull off this, that there were no funerals, there's no medical examiners, there's no poor kid on a gurney in an ME's office, there's no forensic evidence? How is it? What? And yet I'm not seeing somebody say, come here, whoever it is, let me show you a picture. Come here. Anybody who wants to see this, anybody who doubts this, come with me. If you want to think this is a crisis actor, come here. Let me show you this. If you want to see it, but get ready, you're going to get sick to your stomach. Here it is. You want to talk to these family members? You want to talk to these kids? I never understood it. I never got it. I never followed it. I don't understand it. You can't pull something off like that. Yet nobody ever said, excuse me, we're going to end this once and for all. I'm sorry, I didn't follow it. It's just like there are some things I wish I could tell you. I don't follow them. I don't understand it. And by the way, the only thing, and that should be absolutely 100% protected. If you want to say that didn't happen, there's no Sandy Hook exception to the First Amendment. And there's no exception to the government telling some social media proxy, shut him down on this. We don't give a damn about. Hell, we've been lying about me lying. The government doesn't care about deaths and deception about murder. No, stop it. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. The thing that is the most important, though, is you can't turn your legions of fans to say, I want you to go get this person. This man's a liar. This guy's kid never, that kind of stuff. No. Now, that's another story. That's incitement, and that clearly satisfies the Brandenburg principle. That absolutely. So those are things. That notwithstanding, that has nothing to do with Twitter. It's like Alex Jones going to the CVS, and he tries to check out and he goes, hey, where's my CVS customer service? I'm sorry, Mr. Jones. Yes, we've suspended it. Why? What you said about Sandy Hook. This is CVS. They got him on LinkedIn and this and banking and whatever. I mean, come on. But what they're doing, there's two things they're doing. Number one, they're doing it. And number two, they're doing to see how far can we go? Let's get used to this. Let's acclimate people into thinking, well, that's what you get. No, that's not what you get. And God bless Elon Musk for at least saying this is important. Sean Martin said, you are correct. They should have released photos. Well, they should have done this in their own way. Again, this is the family. I'm not. And then you have these people who say, this is a crisis actor. This person is this. I mean, you remember during the Boston Marathon bombing? These people were already, they were already amputees. And it's like, okay, look, I'm sorry, I don't have time to follow through with this, but if that's what you want to say, okay. Mein Kampf is in the public library. I can go to Amazon and get Mein Kampf, the blueprint and the architecture of genocide, of the destruction of the Jews. But some punk kid with a keffiyeh can't sit on the steps of a law school and say from the river to the sea, that, oh, no, not that. But Mein Kampf is in it. Wait a minute. Let them say that. There's no river to the sea exception to the First Amendment. What is going on here? And next, and I'll bet you that Elise Stefanik wouldn't have any problem telling, I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if they say, hey, Elon, shut off does the Harvard Palestinian Law Society have a Twitter account? Yeah, shut that down too. No, don't shut that down. Just don't follow it. Don't follow it. Alec Baldwin banned me, blocked me. David Crosby blocked me. All these other people blocked me. That's their right. It's so obvious. We've been played. And then thank God for Elon Musk. As weird as he is, you know this guy's a weirdo. Who isn't? Thank God he's like the first. He's the oligarch on our side. He's the oligarch on how about when he told Bob Iger, F you. Okay, well, different styles, whatever. By the way, that comes across to me. My first thing is, I hope they don't do urine tests here. This guy looks a little whacked. There's something wrong here. You know what? But who am I? But everybody's so drugged up. People are drugged half the time. Half the time. Now, Tucker Carlson is so important in this. And Tucker Carlson disappoints me because he's acting sometimes like a complete idiot. And then he shows these moments of brilliance. Mad P says, I'm glad to see you're still doing your thing after all these years. Give these few dollars to Mrs. L because saving children is the most honorable of all crusades. Absolutely, my friend. Oh, you have no idea. Let me tell you one thing while we're on this subject. This is one of the best interviews that she has done ever. And it's about broken borders, an existential threat. And she has some of the best, hang on a minute. Yes, some of the best. She has a 53-minute interview. You're not going to see that on Laura Ingraham. 53 minutes. Follow her. Listen to these experts. This is just, and you can't believe this stuff. You can't. Oh, you want to talk about a real kind of a governor. Remember a governor in the old days when they put a governor where your car can't go past 55 or anyway. Tucker Carlson comes along, and Tucker Carlson needs to sit down and say, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? Every one of your, do not interview Dave Portnoy. Do not interview Andrew Tate. Do not interview, look, if you just want to be some fanboy, some star effer of these people that you think are cool, or they're the people you wish you would have been when you were in high school, because maybe you were the dweeb with the bow tie or whatever the hell it is. I don't know, but I'm tired of the psycho Freudian nonsense. Get to the bottom line. Talk to Gonzalo Lira's father. That's the most important thing. And ask yourself, how come Stephanie Griner, that tattooed ingrate, everybody's busting their hump trying to get her back from Russia when she went to their country and broke a law? Think about this. Gonzalo Lira spoke the truth. And this Biden administration won't lift a finger because they're in bed with that thug Zelensky. Come on, you know this. We all know this. We all know this. But maybe there's other things too. And let me also say something. By the way, it was one of the. It's so sweet. His father is this great, very eloquent. But he said, "They're wonderful people." Like and Alex and Duran. I thought, yeah, that's Simon Le Bon, meaning the Duran. And speaking of which, hats off to Judge Knapp, Mearsheimer, Scott Ritter, Duran. I think Mearsheimer's my hero. Colonel McGregor. I've asked to interview Colonel McGregor. You know what his person says? He's busy. He's got interviews. He goes, yes, I want to be one of them too. I've got some listeners. He was on with somebody with like 13 people. I said, but I don't think they like me because his person writes, don't you understand? He gets asked a lot. I say, I know. I'm asking him. I'm not asking for money. I still think I'm radioactive. I really do. And I love it because I'm dangerous because you don't know what I'm going to say. I'm not going to give an example. You know, this, there is a hats off to two people. First of all, I love this dude. He is, I don't use the word dude, but feller. I like feller. He is terrific. He does that show with Crystal Balls, Sagar. He is damn good. And he did this one piece. Where is it? Here we go. Oh, here we go. Yes. No, that's not it. I forget where the hell it was. It's on Breaking Points. Very good. Excellent points. Anyway, but there is an article, and I want you to read this. It is so brilliant. It is perfect by a fellow named Jason Willick. It's in the Washington Post. I'll give this to you. It's called University Anti-Semitism, Stefanik Culture War. And it is, I'm going to give you this thing, one of the best pieces from Washington Post. Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Hands down. There's the link. It was perfect. Absolutely. There is no Palestinian exception to the First Amendment. And remember when people used to say, oh, but I wish these snowflakes would shut up about their microaggressions and trigger warnings. Well, they had a woman who says, do you know what it's like to be a Jew at NYU? They rip stuff down and they chant things and it feels terrible. Do you know what it's like to go to a school and to hear pro-Trump stuff and to hear disinformation about vaccines? And that's exactly what they're saying. Yeah, but this one's different. This is anti-Semitism. That was just anti-Trump. No, it doesn't matter the subject matter. It's that you said you hate people who you told them, hey, tough it up, grow a pair, shut up, free speech, bunch of wimps. Now, Stefanik, who basically is clawing because she's got some attention. She's got some leadership position in mind. You know what that's all about. Come on. She says, oh, yeah, you mean to tell me you don't have, I'm going to give you one more time. I'm going to give you one more example. And I wish this, whatever, would have grown a pair and leaned in and said, let me tell you something. At least, if I have to explain to you how you don't have exceptions to the First Amendment, I don't know what there is. You're telling me to expel somebody because they say something? You were the ones who got all pissed off because we told people they had to use certain pronouns and that they couldn't make people feel hostile. You're asking me to do the same thing. That's okay? Is that okay? How does that work out? At least that's what I wish somebody would have done. But no, they're wimps and they're public relations nightmares. I need 500 likes. Come on, my friend. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my world, in my life. And nobody gets it. But you go, oh, no, wait, hold it. Now, that's okay, but this is different. Why is it different? Well, it's Israel. No, it's not different because it's Israel. The rule applies no matter what it is. We got to be consistent. We have to be consistent in this thing. You don't just say, well, for this it's okay, but not for that. The other day, somebody was saying, and I say, do you understand that Israel said, we don't understand how these Hamas people slipped through with, got past Hamas? I mean, excuse me, Mossad? That's interesting. What? You don't know how that happened? You don't think that's odd? You don't think it's beyond the realm? Did you let this happen on purpose? Did you know this was happening? Did you in some sick mind say, if this happens, this might finally be the way that we get the... No. Well, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, then disprove it. Prove me wrong. Damn right it's a conspiracy theory. Call it what you want. What, am I not supposed to say that? But you have conspiracy theories when it deals with the woke and the snowflakes. See, they have it any way they want. You've got to be consistent. Barry Taylor says, this administration reminds me of Colonel Schultz and Hogan's Heroes. I see nothing, I know nothing. Well, I know nothing is true. That's for sure. But you see, I think, and thank you, by the way, for that, Barry. We're at the end of this trajectory. This is a very big news, very big thing. I want everybody to follow what Alex Jones is saying. I don't care whether you like him. I'm not even going to tell you that you don't have to agree with everything. I don't have to tell you. I don't know where this... Let me ask you something. What's your favorite album? Okay. I was trying to think the other day. I think Asia, Steely Dan might be one of my favorite albums. Do I like every song? No. So why is it your favorite album? Well, because can you have a favorite album and only like one song? No, you gotta have at least more. Just 2 songs? Well, no. Well, that's what it is. Alex Jones has provided some of the most interesting information, as has Tucker, as has... Did you know anything about Orban? Don't you love when people tell you something you don't know? Don't you love learning something new? Don't you love learning something new, things you did not know? I remember the first time I read this thing about olive oil. I couldn't believe it. I said, that makes complete sense. I said, where is this idea that olive oil is good for you? It's 100% fat. There's less fat and calories by putting a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream on a salad than salad dressing with olive oil. I said, no, I can't. It's true. Now, people hate when I say that. So what? Don't listen to me. Dispute it. Refute it. Do whatever you want. I want you to listen to me right now very, very quickly. I can't say this enough. You might think, well, this guy's kind of... When you go after a man's family or business livelihood, it means a lot to me. And that's what they did to Mike Lindell. You can say whatever you want. You could say whatever you want. They went after him, his business, to teach him a lesson. And it started with those bastards from Bed Bath & Beyond. Remember that? And now they're out of business. And MyPillow was the greatest thing in the world. He was smiling. It was great. It was American made. And by the way, they are so huge in terms of the products, and they went after him. And that's why I'm telling you, you got to go to MyPillow.com, promo code. I'm going to tell you this one personally. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or MyPillow.com/Lionel. And here it is right there. Here it is. I'm doing this one. I'm not even going to give you a pre-record on this one. This is the real deal. And I want you to go and I want you to look at this. Look at this stuff that's here. Look at what's available. Look at all of this. It's unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. It's there. It's the most incredible thing in the world. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. And when I tell you something, when you want to talk about somebody, give somebody a gift, and their slippers, they sell more slippers than you can imagine. Nobody does it. Slippers. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, is about freedom, and it's about standing up for what you believe in. And you may think that's corny, and you may think, this guy is just trying to... No, I'm telling you the truth. I'm an American. I proudly wear a display my flag because it's not my country, but what I believe in. God damn it, there's this thing called freedom of speech. And if I don't like what you're saying, I don't go. There are people this holiday season, I'm not going to visit. I can't stand them. So I elect not to be with them. Most people I can't stand because I hate people. But they have a right that I'm going to stand up and defend. Just because I don't like what they have to say means nothing. You have the right to say this. And if you want to say, put things at the bottom of your email that said, these are my pronouns, go ahead. And if you want to call yourself a duck, go ahead. Say what you want. This is America, and there is no Israeli or Palestinian exception to the First Amendment. And there's no exception that says Alex Jones can't enjoy the same protections we have. And I don't care if you like him or don't like him, don't listen to him. I can't stand Barbara Streisand. I've never once said, don't let her on TV. Ban her. Do you remember the night, it was in Chicago when they destroyed disco, when you brought disco records and the night they killed disco? Remember that? That bothered me. That was free expression. Freedom of speech is a bitch. That bothered me. I love people. I love free speech. I one time went, I swear to God, you're going to think I'm crazy. I went to an arts and crafts thing. A friend of ours was showing something. And I could not believe the level of genius, of interpretation, and creativity of what I was saying. And I thought to myself, a show like this, there was a guy who had shovels that he laser cut pictures through shovels. It's hard to explain. It was brilliant. I would have never thought about that in my life. Because don't forget, arts and crafts are basically divided by two things. Arts and crafts are how cute they are or how hard they were to make. Okay? And there's this genius. And whenever you hear somebody, the first time, do you remember when you were a kid, cumin? I never had that. A little bit Mexican food, but I'm not really sure. And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, this is good. And you started adding it. Coriander. Hey, it's like a spice. Alex Jones is a spice. Alex Jones, Alec Baldwin. If you don't like Alec Baldwin, I don't care. He has a right to speak too. Don't cut him off of something. Let him speak. I may learn something. I learn from people. I learn what I don't believe by hearing the drivel, the dreck, and the nonsense from people who say things that I don't believe in per se, but that make me say like, okay, this explains to me the enemy proposition. Let me read this again. This is NPR. Elon Musk has restored the X account of conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, pointing to a poll on the social media platform, formerly known as Twitter, that came out in favor of the InfoWars host who repeatedly called the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting a hoax. Musk, who was describing himself as a free speech absolutist, said the move was about protecting those rights in response to a user who posted that permanent account bans are antithetical to free speech. Musk wrote, I find it hard to disagree with that point. Absolutely. Now, could that have been set up? Of course. The billionaire Tesla CEO also tweeted, it's likely that community votes, X's crowdsourced fact-checking, will respond rapidly to any AI or AJ post that needs correction. Let me go one step further. I don't want anything corrected. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want anything corrected. Because if you decide that you're going to say something and you say, hey, this is a wonderful story, but here's how I make my vinaigrette with olive oil. I have to say, olive oil is 100% fat. Olive oil has been linked to endothelial damage. Olive oil is not a part of the Mediterranean diet. Wait a minute. Excuse me. I'm just correcting you. No, you're not. You're disputing me. You're not correcting me. You're disputing me. You're adding a flavor. You go, this guy's full of shit. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know why it's people's duty to correct things. So the next time Dr. Fauci says something and they talk about mRNA, are you going to put something of all the people who are contracted myocarditis believed to be a part of that? Is that the kind of correction you want? You sure about that? Because it works both ways. What if somebody says, Barack Obama, the first African American, correction, well, he's not actually 100% African American. His father was African American, but he was. Wait a minute, stop. Where does this end? Where does this? The Beatles are popular. I'm sorry, the Beatles have been popular, but Slim Whitman actually sold more records. And then we're going to be correcting the correction of the correction. And pretty soon we're going to have the correction. It's up to you. Just listen to what the man has to say, or the woman, or the person, or the it, or the they, and then shut up. Enough. So Elon Musk, thank you for bringing back Alex Jones. Thank you. Go and sign up to the Alex Jones. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This guy, I learned more from Alex Jones than anybody. I told you before, I've never heard a Rush Limbaugh show. I've never heard a Sean Hannity show. I've never heard my good friend Anthony Cumia. I never heard his show one time. I don't like this stuff. Howard Stern, I've never heard a show. I've heard little, like a YouTube, or if something happens, or when my good friend Pat Cooper was on, things like, but I never listened to it. Alex Jones I listened to. Because did you ever see his documentaries, Endgame, and fantastic? Did you ever hear David Icke? Brilliant. I'm thinking, it like opens your mind. It's like when you hear music, when you hear John McLaughlin and Mahavishnu. First time I heard tabla, what's that guy's name? I heard tabla, I go, what the hell is that? It's this Indian music. I was like, Jesus, this percussion. I never heard that before. First time I heard Garth Hudson play the accordion, I thought, oh my God, it made me cry. Because I thought accordions were kind of stupid and zydeco. Listen to Garth Hudson play River is Wide with Carla Bonoff. You'll cry. I never knew you could play like that. Jimmy Pankow from Chicago plays trombone so beautiful, sexy. I never knew that. I never knew you could think like that. I never knew it worked like that. I never knew that. And that's what new ideas do. It allows you to think things. It allows you to think things and allows you to imagine. I never realized this. I never thought about what happened. I remember one time years ago, 95. And please don't quote me on this. Alex Jones says something to the effect of either Comcast or whatever, somebody somewhere was where they were actually listening to people in their don't quote me on Comcast. It was something like that on their cable box. Remember when people were all of a sudden, there was this thing in your phone where if it heard a dog barking, all of a sudden there would be like dog commercials. How many times have you talked about, hey, guess who died? Aunt Maisie. Then all of a sudden there's burial insurance ads that come up. And now you know it to be true. When I told people about that, they said, oh, you're crazy. When I was on local TV, and I used to talk about this all the time, I said, one day you are going to hear, by the way, there's still time, 500 likes. You're getting there. I appreciate this. I said, one day you're going to hear somebody taking and we called it CGI then, but taking a picture of a baby and putting it on another person and basically creating what amounts to now CSAM, child sexual abuse material, or child pornography, but it's not real. And you're going to ask yourself, well, is it real? And there was an Ashcroft case that came out in 1999, I believe. Anyway, so watch what happens. This is where, and I didn't predict. I said it's coming. It's not even a prediction. I could see it. And Alex Jones has predicted more stuff than you can imagine. He picked Bin Laden, for God's sake. Then I talked about hydro imperialism. I said water. I explained how water is going to be. Water is going to be the next casus belli, the next part. I said this is the reason why they wanted to get Gaddafi. was basically he wanted to make Libya arable, and he was on top of the Nubia sandstone aquifer and drilled and basically wanted to pump $25 billion into water. And they said, oh, no. It wasn't about the oil. I mean, that was a part of it. That came true. The greatest thing in the world I ever did, which is the most important, which I think was, I stood one time and I said, this was on local TV, and got that Emmy back there and the blurred, whatever it was. But there's this thing, and I said, this is Benghazi. Benghazi, I want you to see on top of this courthouse, there's Al Qaeda flag. The rebels that we are supporting are Al Qaeda. It was so not ahead of the game. I was beyond the game, beyond it, and people loved it. They loved what I was saying. Barry Taylor says, I saw Roseanne grilling Bill Maher. She is phenomenal. I hope so, but she's got to watch it because Bill Maher is a phony and he is no good, Bill Maher. Bill Maher is no good. Roseanne is sincere. Roseanne is sincere. She really is. Bill Maher is a phony. Bill Maher wants to be anything he can because he's at the end of the trajectory. So now he's going to do this. Okay, I'm going to try to kind of get away from the liberal aspect. And you know who's completely lost is Jon Stewart. That's the funniest thing in the world. He's just lost. He doesn't know. He doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know where he's going. Eric Clapton sometimes said when you're playing lead, sometimes you lose track of where you are. And you go, where am I going? This is the thing which this is the thing which I can tell you about. Like it or not, I'm whatever it is. I have never been anything but me. I have never changed positions. Like, well, sometimes situations change. Sometimes all of a sudden, people that you like go south, and people that you didn't like say, you know what, that makes sense. I call it the way I see it. Balls and strikes. I'm with the opposition. Remember that. And I want Roseanne. Let me tell you what I want what I want her to do is I want to sit down and say, I want you to do this. You're a great actress. And I want you to sit down and I want you to do me a favor. I want you to don't do any smoking or references. I want you to not laugh. And I want you to speak like you would speak to, just speak in general. And I want you to tell me about your fears and your concerns, but I want you to tone it down and change the speed and the volume of what you speak. And you will not believe how differently you are taken. How you say things is completely different. Tucker Carlson could be the heir apparent. Ricky Skaggs took over from Bill Monroe. When Bill Monroe died, Ricky Skaggs took over Bluegrass. That's the guy. And sometimes when people die, they kind of, I'm trying to think of who else. I think it's about it. Alex Jones was kind of like the Ramones. An acquired taste, pivotal, critical, not for everybody, not whatever it is. One of the reasons why David Icke is so much, the people in Wembley, he brings them in by the millions. It's because of the way he speaks. He looks apart. He doesn't yell and scream. He's not profane. He's just completely different. Completely different. Alex does. Tucker does that. I think. Wears his suit. Notice how he has. Notice the little John Kennedy, little pocket square. You notice that? John Kennedy did this little thing where a little poked out, just a little bit. You couldn't. There were four. Most people don't know this. There are different ways to do it. You call it a puff, a hanky. There's the puff part, but then you have the points. That big point is so stupid, it's not even funny. Anyway, you can do 1 point is called, it's like Mont Blanc, Jungfrau, Annapurna. It was named after the mountains. 4 points, 3 points, 2. But Tucker has a little style here, a little style, a little point. That was what JFK did. It just stuck out. Could a sincere person survive in politics? Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. Tucker has been able to redeem he has to never do an Andrew Tate again. You left me with that. You let me down. That was so stupid. That will haunt you. That will haunt you. I don't know what to tell you about this. I don't know what you're going to understand, but Dave Portnoy, let him do this stuff. This guy's, I don't want to say he's no good, but this is not somebody, you're gravitas. That's great for the kids. Sorry. This guy's a buffoon. Let him do his thing. Let him do his money, make his women. I don't care. You have time for that. This is serious business. We need serious people, serious leadership, and we need people to do it right. Alex has to do something. First of all, Alex has to lose a lot of weight because he looks so unhealthy. And when he tones it down, Alex, let me tell you what he did was great. This was brilliant. Always tell people the truth, but in a weird way, in a different way, in an orthogonal way. Let me give you an example. Alex Jones said, look, I understand that Elon Musk is going to do his thing, and I'm not, I understand the position he's in. He's got advertisers and everything, and I appreciate that. And he basically said, look, I know Elon doesn't give a shit, but he's got to do this stuff. But he said it so perfectly. It was very, very good. And he also said, I've never had the chance to say what I want about Sandy Hook. Alex, if you're listening to me, never tell anybody, never talk about Sandy Hook ever again. Just say this. I've never had the chance to explain it, and leave it at that. And they're going to ask you, why don't you do it now? No. Why? Cases are still pending on the advice of counsel. Never talk about it again. Never talk about it again. Never talk about it again. You hear what I'm saying? Let it go. Let it die. Let it go away. You're not going to win this one. Don't resurrect it. Don't talk about it. Just say, I can't because things are, and also, I've never had the chance to explain. That's it. Two things. Never budge, never veer. That's your answer. End of discussion. Then explain to people why. I understand what I'm saying is difficult for people to understand. I understand that. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I understand precisely. Make it sound like you're almost like you're look, I understand the reason why you understand, because I'm basically telling you that the America that you thought you were living under is not that America. I know how difficult that is, and I know how tough that is, and I know what's going on, and I recognize this fact. And I know that when somebody like me comes along and tells you that your government has been lying to you, I know it hurts. Believe me, I felt the same way. I resisted this for years. Nobody wants to think that. When Daniel Ellsberg exposed the Washington Post or exposed the Vietnam War, nobody wanted to hear that. You call him a whistleblower? Woodward and Bernstein. Do you think anybody wanted to hear that? Do you think people wanted to know that their president was a crook? I understand it. So what is he doing? He's sympathizing with you. He's bringing you down. He's just, I understand what this is difficult to do. I understand this. Sometimes I've had to tell a jury, especially when you're trying to explain a particular defense, when you're trying to say something like, I understand this is difficult for you to, we'll give an example. Voluntary intoxication is an affirmative defense, in essence, to a specific intent crime. A voluntary intoxication or involuntary intoxication, especially, is a specific intent, meaning you can defend yourself against a specific intent crime, let's say like murder, if you can show you were drunk. And if a jury believes, okay, he was drunk, you're not guilty of murder. Very difficult, because juries are going to say, I don't give a damn whether you were drunk or not. So what do? You head them off with the pass. You tell the jury, I understand this is difficult because this is something that we don't think about in our regular life. But in law, that's the rule. But in life, we don't do this. We don't make excuses for people. And I understand that. I understand this. I understand this. I'm going to give you one of the best pieces of advice. Listen to what I'm saying. Use this in anything you do from the rest of your life. You will never, ever, ever, ever stop thanking me for using this one line. It's very simple. When you want somebody to do something, how many of you have asked for a raise? It's the hardest thing in the world. I've been here for 5 years, haven't even gotten a raise. And you think it's easy, but it's difficult. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to talk to him. What if he says no? I feel stupid. You say you don't, but you do. You feel weird. Or you want to ask a girl out on a date, or you don't like this price, or you want to renegotiate a lease, or you feel kind of weird. This is what you do. You say, Mr. Furlong, yes, I've been with the company for 5 years and have enjoyed every minute. And I think I've done a very good job, and you've done a good job, and I couldn't be happier. But it's been 5 years, and it's time for me to ask for a raise. Here comes the line. Listen carefully. And you can understand that. And you know what they say all the time? You know what they say? They just nod. They just agree to it. They just do it. They don't even realize what they're doing. It's like, hi, how are you? Fine, how are you? We just say these things. And you can understand that. Sally? Yes. Can I ask you something? Yeah. I'm a little nervous. And you can understand that, right? Yeah. You want to go out on a date? There's something about, and you can understand that. They give you the okay. Hello, Comcast Cable? Yeah. We're going to change the service. And you can understand that, right? Well, of course. Can I get this free? I don't want to pay for that. And you can understand that. You do this all the time, and you say this all the time. And you can understand this. And that's what Alex does. Do the old Lionel, you can understand that. So I know people listen to me. And I know sometimes I yell and sometimes I get upset. It's the way I am. It's kind of like a Baptist preacher in me. Explain to people how you are. Rocky Diner says, ecstatic to have Alex back on X. Alex is like the Hall of Fame closer in baseball. Once he comes in, the game is over. He's only part of a Raider team. You included, Lionel. Thank you, sir. I'm very happy. Alex has to explain to people. I've told people this so many times. I said, you see that? See that? I was at a car wash recently. I'm talking to this guy. There were two beautiful geoengineering plumes. And they were kind of they start off kind of straight, and then they kind of, you ever see them how they kind of billow out, and then they spread, and then it kind of filters the sun, and then it gets gauzy. And I said, what do you think that is? I said, do you ever know? He's never noticed. I said, you've never noticed that? You've never noticed this? You never had. You've never noticed this. What do you think that is? I said, there's no trick to this. I said, you think that's a jet? That's like a condensation trail? You think it's a water vapor? You think that's what it is? I guess. I said, why is water vaporing spreading like that? Water vapor it's spreading out. Look at it. And if we come back, we watch this 5 minutes later, it's spread. And then the next thing you know, the sun kind of gets a little hazy. It's like they're spraying something. And he looked at me, and I said, the first time somebody pointed that out to me, I thought to myself, I feel so damn stupid. I didn't even realize it, because that's what he was feeling. And I assuaged his fear by absorbing how he felt, by letting him know, I feel that way. I felt the same way too. I didn't like this. I felt like an idiot. I didn't notice. And you can understand that. I can understand that. Nobody likes to hear this stuff. I remember one time, Alex Jones, true story. I was at the flaxseed. I was at the Talkers Talkers magazine. It was an annual convention, and it was in New York. And I said, I want to introduce Alex Jones. And I talked to the publisher at the time, and I said, please let me do this. Please. He said, okay. So I never met Alex before. I went to the back. He was sitting there by him in this room, kind of by himself. It was like a convention center kind of a thing. Anyway, he's by and I walked in, and he looked at me like, who the hell is this? I had that effect on people. I said, Alex, I'm a friend. Lionel's the name. I said, I'm going to treat you like a king. I said, and these stupid bastards here, all of these are talk radio hosts, and they don't understand the future of what's happening. They don't understand. Do you know that when I was there, I told them I was a podcaster? They didn't know what podcasting was. I swear to God. Talkers Magazine, I was, whatever it's worth, voted one of the heavy 100 of all time. Talk radio hosts. I thought there's 100 of them? Anyway, a heavy 100. 100. And one of the podcasting pioneers. And I went to a room. I swear to God, I heard this. I went to a room with a bunch of people, and I asked the question, what is podcasting? These are radio people. And do they pay for this? How do this? I swear to God. So anyway, I went out and they looked and they smirked. They kind of looked at me and they kind of like, okay, who is this guy? So let me tell you about this guy. First of all, number one, he's one of the best speakers ever. He's brilliant. Number two, he never takes a break. You guys got 3, 4, 5 spot sets, breaks an hour. You speak like 10 minutes. You're doing news, traffic, and weather. You don't say anything. This guy goes straight the whole time. Number three, he is absolutely a nut about verification and citation. I'm a citation person. When you see his desk, he's got papers and papers and papers and stories and stories and stories. He has an overhead cam. And he says, and today we find out there's a frogs. Frogs are getting gay, turning gay. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but turning gay because whatever. Here's the story. Blah, blah, blah. And there is a story. This is from Science Magazine. Holy God! He's telling the truth. I love that about him. If he said something was true, it was the truth. Depleted uranium. Here's the story. Here's the story. He never got into UFOs really. Went to Roswell. He was, he just certain things. 9/11, the best. Geoengineering, the best. And it's all about, here's the facts of the case. It's not, I think this. Hey, I think this was an inside job. No, here's the story. Here's what's going on. Remember when Norman Mineta was told stand down order by Cheney? Here it is. And I said, what you people don't understand is that you just talk blather. You just talk crap. And then when you slow down, then you take a phone call. And they did not like me at all because I'm one of them. And I'm saying Alex Jones is one of the best. He's a natural. Okay? He's a natural. Now, again, why we hold him to this standard? Wow, excuse me. This really, I said, we got a guy over here in the back. I said, yeah, Alex may yell and scream. We got a guy in the back here in this room who's a puker. Talks like this. I'm not going to mention his name, but this guy's so full of it. 8 after the hour. What the hell's going on? They're called pukers in the business. A puker is I said, we got pukers here who they can't turn it off. They're modulating constantly. I said, this is a style. You've got cousin Jethro over here who does his bone things about that. You've got a style. You've got a style. This is his style. Why are you holding him to a different standard? They hated me when I got done, but you know what? He wowed them. I said, this is the most important. This guy, in terms of radio, Arthur Godfrey, Howard Stern, Rush Limbaugh, You know, people like, you might as well say Rick D's changed it. Casey Kasem's more music. Murray the K, Alan Freed, you know, that music. Yes, yes, yes. But this is it. This was information. And this was the, remember that Behold the Pale Horse and all those kind of guys? Yeah, they were kind of always out there. And, but this was different. This was evangelical. And you don't have to agree with everything he says. I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't like necessarily every song a DJ's playing. I need 500 likes. Come on, my friends. Let's go. Come on, we're getting there. We're getting there. We can do it. This helps me tremendously. I've been talking an hour and 25 minutes for you. An hour and 25 minutes. But this, it means that much to me. I'm very impassioned about this. We watched yesterday. This is Ellen and I were watching, or she told me this. Channel 4, NBC, local news, garbage. Okay? Complete and total garbage. They wanted to talk about two things, the weather and SantaCon. That's it. Out of everything that's going on in the world, this stupid local TV, you have been so not captured, but so imprisoned by vapidity, you don't even know anymore. You can't even tell. This is where we are. So there are these folks who are very, very serious, who came out, especially during COVID. Because remember, at Shadow Government Central, they said, we're going to do a couple of things. Number one, we're not going to do anything during, this is one of the greatest beta tests of all time. We have never done this before. We want to find out, how do you do this? We have never seen, can we lock down, and not necessarily because of a bad reason, because remember, there was SARS-CoV-2. COVID exists. People died from COVID. It's not a made up thing. It's not just the flu. That's not true. Now, not everybody had it. Not everybody needed to be vaccinated. That's another story. But it was not this made up thing, because a lot of people in our camp, when they don't like something, they just make stuff up. And and there never was, and nobody died, and nobody was shot at the school, and they, you know how that stuff is. They just keep going, and they brought kids in the tunnels and Central Park, and I was like, okay, all right, take it easy. But they wanted to see, how exactly can we lock people down? How do we do this? Let's set up a new superstructure. All right, we have a division. We are going to go to each of the social media platforms that people like, and we're going to have a liaison, and we're going to say, we would appreciate if you would do everything in your power to perhaps, because after all, we own you. And don't forget where everything started from. QIntel, the entire, not DARPA, QIntel was the investment bank arm of this, which was DARPA in essence. Everything was started by the government. If you believe this cockamamie story about how Bill Gates and his friends worked in a, okay, fine. If you think the proliferation of Microsoft was because of this man's genius, if you think that Bezos, if you think that Zuckerberg was just there because of this, he's just a genius. Stop it. This was something which is great. Let's get people addicted to this particular platform. And if we shut the platform down or shut them down, there goes the speech. Get them addicted first, and then realize, then what do? You don't even realize what we had before this. And your platform is your business. It's everything is who you are. X, in particular, Twitter, is the most important platform there is. People will announce things. People will say official government. If there's a traffic accident or something that's serious, it will be. Twitter is the biggest thing in the world. Twitter's bigger than, I don't care what anybody says. TikTok, yeah. Not if you do what we do. That's it. And what happened with Alex Jones was, now again, maybe there's change, maybe whatever, I don't know. The reason why I'm saying maybe there's a change, because right now we're seeing some great as I mentioned, Judge Knapp and Duran and Mearsheimer and Scott Ritter and Colonel McGregor, all these people who would not have been allowed ever before, ever. That was in clear violation. You dare to even question the Ukraine or anything pro-Soviet, as they still use the word Soviet. That's changed drastically. So maybe there's something good. Maybe it's happening. I don't know. I can't tell you, but I hope so. I hope this is a change. I hope they realize, you know what? It's just not worth it anymore. Let's just let people talk and realize, because you see a lot of people trying things, that when you shut people down, and there's always going to be people, remember, if you work for CBS, NBC, ABC, if you were on cable news, let me say this again to you, and listen to me very, very carefully. If you were on cable news, in order to be on cable news, whoever's the program director or the news director, you have to give them your balls, your heart, your spine, your backbone, your soul, your guts, and your self-respect, and you hand it over to them as a security. Because if you plan on winning, you cannot at all do anything that you say you're going to do. You cannot buck the system. You cannot in any way interrupt or suspend or interfere with intellectual commerce and the like. You are about to see, maybe, I don't know, but this could very well be. Please, let Alex's return be a harbinger, a kind of a truce, a little bit of a, okay, we're going to back off a little bit. Why not? Because we've got an election coming, because this didn't pan out, and we didn't, whatever. Believe me when I tell you this, every advertiser will go on any platform to get its message out. It doesn't want to get off of X or Twitter. It doesn't want that. It wants to be on. It wants to. They're losing money. Great. You pull from Twitter. Where are you going to go now? What? With all due respect, Rumble? Okay, they're good. BitChute or BoopShoot or Truth Social? Getter? Remember Parlay? Wasn't that Candace Owens? Was that her old man? Wasn't that Candace Owens? Was that her? Remember that one? What's that story? I don't even care anymore. So let's hope. Maybe this is the beginning. Let's hope this is the beginning of a new frontier in free speech. Okay. All right. It's been an hour and 32 minutes. How about a big hand for me, ladies and gentlemen? An hour and 32 minutes straight. How about a big hand? And I've got 479 likes. I wanted 500. How about a big hand for me? How about a rousing and uproarious level of clapping to where your hands are numb, out of a deep abiding love, out of a sense of devotion, thanks, gratitude. Already 490. Come on, give me 500. Give me 500. Right here. Here's lucky filters. I need 500. I got 497 there. I need 497 there. I need 497. I need 497 there. I need 500. I need 500. Do I have 500? Do I have 500? Do I see it? Can I see it? Can I see it? Come on. Do I have it? There we go. 502. Yay. Praise God. In the name of Jesus. Praise God. That's for my days of following the group. All right, dear friends. Have a great and a glorious and a wonderful day. Thank you so much. And for Sean Martin, thank you, Shawnee. Mad Peace, thank you. Barry Taylor, Edie Crowley, Rocky Diner, you're beauteous. You know that? You're beauteous and you're wonderful. We'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. By the way, I got some more videos coming up, so pay close attention. I think we're winning here, my friends. Also, let me tell you again, you've got to do me a biggest favor ever. I just want you to go right now and I want you to sign up for Mrs. L's YouTube channel. The most important thing in the world. She is, I'm telling you, she's the most sincere person anybody's ever seen on that. It's that simple, okay? And there it is right there. You follow her right there, my friends. You got what I'm saying? Follow her right there. We love you. Thank you. Have a great and a glorious day. We got some wild weather here in New York City. They said 70-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, I'll see it when I believe it. All right, my friends. We love you. Alex Jones, welcome back, brother. Welcome back. Have a great and a glorious day. And now, remember these final words. On behalf of a grateful nation, how we say the monkey's dead, the show's over, sue ya. Tat tat.